Now that we have WordPress running locally, let's talk about how we could start editing WordPress theme and plugin files locally as well. This involves two things. The first one is finding where our WordPress files are saved on our computer. The second thing is having a code editor you could use to edit the files. Let's look first at finding where your WordPress files are stored.
If you're using desktop server, it's really easy to find out where your files are stored. All you have to do is boot it up and then come into remove, copy, or move an existing website. Then you could find the one that you want. So I'm looking at WordPress.dev, and it's going to give you the exact path of where on your computer this is located. So this is going to be inside my documents, websites, and then this folder, WordPress.dev. So I can navigate to this folder, and here we have my WordPress.dev. Again, it's inside my websites, inside my documents, and here's all the files that you will need to work with. Now, if you're working with local, the process is a little bit different. We could see here the path of here, it's going to be local sites. This may be different if you changed it, and it could be different for each site you have. But if we click on this, it's going to quickly pop this up into Finder or open it up for you in Explorer. So there's a few things about this that are a little bit different. Notice that it doesn't just have all of your WordPress files here. It has an app folder and it has a logs folder. So here's where we could get any PHP logs, server logs, MySQL logs. And then inside of the app folder, there's a public folder, and now we see all of our WordPress files. So this is going to be what we're looking for, but it's also very helpful that inside of the SQL file, whenever you save or close, or actually it's when you stop the server inside of local, it's going to back up your data there, so you could combine those files and reuse them or import them back in if you ever need to. So that could be helpful. But really what you're looking for is to click this button, you're going to pop this open, and then you want to come into app, public, and then you've got all your WordPress files right there.
Once we find out where our WordPress files are, then we can easily open them in our code editor. For this course to start, I'm using Atom from GitHub. It's free and it works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. If you have another editor like Sublime Text or PHP Storm, by all means continue to use them, as they're both great tools, and you may even see a little PHP Storm later on in this course.
Now, as I mentioned, once we find our files, it's pretty easy to open them in our editor. Again, I have on this side here WordPress.dev, which I set up with desktop server. We know how to find those files. I've got my other site here that I set up with local using the same domain. Now, if I want to get this into my editor, I find the easiest way is just to drag and drop it. So I just grab the folder that I need and I drag it into my editor. So what this will do is pop up the site, all of the different files I could see here, and I could drill down to exactly what I need. Now the process is exactly the same for local. I could grab my public folder and I could just drag it into my app, and it's going to pop up all the files right there so that I could edit them. Now, one thing I will point out is that you don't always want all the files. Let's say we're just editing a specific theme. So it may be that we want to come in here and grab one specific theme and open that up. Then we're not as cluttered in our project area. However, sometimes what I find, and we'll see this when we build child themes and things like that, sometimes you actually want to grab your whole themes folder and grab that, because you may be looking at two different themes and back and forth between different templates. So that can help in that area. But again, once you know the files, just drag and drop them into your editor. You don't have to be using Atom. That's what I'm going to be using here. Sublime Text 2 is really popular, as is PHP Storm. So that's how you would get your files open in the editor so that we could get cracking with some code.